Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Juice with your host, Juice Box. Today we have a wonderful guest making his way through the Boston Red Sox organization and my very good friend, throwing partner for the offseason, Alex Hoppe. Appreciate y'all tuning in and let's get right into the video. Alex Hoppe, how are you?
Good. There he is.
Are you in a hotel room?
Yeah, so I'm in a hotel for another week, and then I go into an apartment.
Oh, tight.
Mhm.
What hotel you at?
Just like some Quality Inn and Suites or whatever. It's like a mile from the facility.
Oh, okay. Do you scooter over there or do you drive?
No, I'm driving.
Okay,
The
tight.
road that you actually go on is like one of the busiest roads I've ever been on before.
Really?
It's like the busiest road in Fort Myers, so like I wouldn't even go out for a walk around there.
Yeah. You staying with a roommate right now?
Nope. Well, when
Oh,
I
just got
go
the
into an
whole.
apartment and stuff, we just couldn't get into our apartment until like March 1st or whatever. So like, okay, so month of February, I'll just stay in an apartment or in a hotel until then.
Yeah, that's no problem.
No.
Well, Alex, I appreciate you hopping on, man. It's huge to have you here because I already do miss you, man. The lab's not the same. I know it wasn't long, but I don't have a throwing partner anymore. Me and Caden, Caden gets his throwing done at like 11
Oh yeah,
a.m.
that
And
boy is
I'm
in and done early.
done. He trying to get that thing in and out, and he gets his work in. Though he's there all day, so it's great. I appreciate you coming on, man. You having me, but it's huge because I love talking to you and I do miss you. So, could you kind of elaborate where you're from to the audience, let them know kind of your career path right now, what you're kind of doing?
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in the Midwest, specifically Iowa, Illinois. I technically went to a private school in Illinois, but lived right across the border in Iowa. Very, very, very small school. Very small school. Like
How small?
my graduating class was 12, and I had the biggest class.
12 students
Yeah,
in total, and y'all had a whole graduation ceremony and everything.
yeah.
Where did y'all do this
At the gym, in the gymnasium.
Okay, so it was like at y'all school, didn't go in
No,
because mom was like, okay,
yeah, we didn't need to go anywhere. The gym was plenty big enough for.
yeah, like literally.
But yeah, so I went there K through 12, graduated, and then I went to college in North Carolina at UNC Greensboro. Played there for 5 years. I got my fifth year because of the COVID red shirt. I took it. Ended up getting drafted in the sixth round by the Boston Red Sox, and then now I'm entering my third full season as a part of the Boston Red Sox in the minors.
Wonderful. I appreciate you sharing all that information, man. It's huge. So how did you make the transition from, your Midwest to going to North Carolina school? Like, how was that connection? Did you have any other options before you kind of committed to go to Greensboro?
So I'll say this first: Greensboro was my only Division I offer.
Okay.
It was a recruited walk on, and I wanted to go Division I. Luckily enough, I ended up earning, after my sophomore year, I earned a scholarship, so that worked out and it paid off. But I would say probably my sophomore, maybe junior year of high school, my parents were talking about moving to North Carolina. We had family down here, and we had visited multiple times and loved the area. Kind of got sick of the Midwest winters because they're pretty harsh out there. They're
Harsh.
okay, so we're going to probably move here soon in a couple of years to go down to North Carolina. It's like, okay. This was about when I realized, okay, I can actually go play college baseball somewhere. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I can either stay back and go play college in middle of nowhere, Iowa, and harsh winters and stuff, or I can go down to North Carolina where it's beautiful and much warmer and stuff. So
Yeah.
Once we made that decision, like, okay, I'm going to try and get recruited down somewhere more south. I started going to showcases and stuff more in Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina area to get my name out there. Because I knew nobody was going to come out and see me in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, at a small school and watch me play. I had to go get my name out there and do some of the grunt work myself. So that's how that happened. I did have plenty of like JUCO offers back in Iowa. If I wanted to go the JUCO route and then try and go somewhere big, I had some smaller schools in North Carolina along with some JUCOs. I know like Barton offered me they wanted me there. I know for junior college, I had strong connections to Lewisburg. If I was going to go JUCO, Lewisburg had strong connect. They had also had strong connections to UNCG because UNCG is like, if we understand if you want to go to JUCO first and come back and try and earn a scholarship after that and such. But ultimately, I decided, okay, I kind of want to try and be in one spot. and go to a 4-year school. Let's go to UNCG. It's Division One, 4-year school. Let's work our tail off and see what we can make of ourselves there.
Right. And when did your parents end up moving, and where to?
So they moved to Kernersville, so just close by to UNC Greensboro, and they moved during the fall of my freshman year.
Okay, so they're able to see you play your whole career
Oh
there,
yes,
and
my dad
okay,
technically retired from his job, what he was doing. He's still working as like a maintenance man now, but he would made sure he could come out to all the games and
yeah.
stuff like that because he loves watching and stuff like that. So they were both mom and dad were very involved and supportive during it.
Well, that's wonderful, man. I'm glad you had your hometown audience there, and they
Mm-hmm.
literally moved from North Carolina to be able to. You know, they wanted a warmer weather too, but it was great that a positive benefit was being able to watch you play your whole college career. I mean, that's something that you probably don't get to do often. A lot of guys that like I played with guys from Hawaii,
Yeah,
and like when their parents came, it was like a whole thing. Flew them
yeah.
in, like
I mean,
you
I
know,
understand it way more now and appreciate it way back then being in pro ball. I mean, I'm so far away from them now. It's like, okay, when they do actually get down, come down to visit for 2-3 games or whatever, just to take me out to dinner or whatever, it's like, okay, this is a much bigger deal and stuff. Luckily,
mhm,
I was, you can say, spoiled with it in college since they were close by. But now I definitely understand like the guys you played with who live far away and stuff like that in pro ball.
gotcha. So on weekends in college, how often did y'all go out to eat? Like, because my girlfriend, her parents live about an hour away, and they came yesterday, but didn't go out to eat. But she has a game today, and they're going out to eat tonight.
Yeah,
So
I would
yeah,
say
every weekend.
once a weekend. Like if they were coming on the weekend, we go out to eat once or whatever, but we'd still hang out or whatever.
Gotcha. So you're getting a good meal in
Oh
then.
yeah, yeah. And even during, and there was even some times where mom or dad they kind of alternate. It's like, okay, it's a Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's go take Alex and we'll go out to cookout or we'll go to Zaxby's or stuff like that. So
Ooh,
I was almost
yeah.
kind of spoiled and getting a couple of good meals a week. That especially that freshman
Wow,
year.
wow, that's so far. So you reported to Fort Myers, Florida, you said?
Yep, correct.
So how long are you there for, and then where do you go after that?
So I've been down here since middle of January. What the Red
Yeah.
Sox kind of do is they like to bring some guys down earlier to just get their hands on them and try and work on some things a little bit more before actual spring training games start because they don't start spring training for minor leagues technically doesn't start till around like March 1st. So if they can get guys down here a little bit earlier, start working on some things before games even begin, they're going to try that. So
Gotcha.
I'll be down here through the end of March and then last week of March, it depends on where you go, where you're assigned. I technically don't know where I'm going yet. If I had to assume, I'll be going back to Double A up in Portland, Maine. But there's always a chance if I do well, I could end up in Triple A at Worcester, Massachusetts. They really don't let us know that until about the third week of March, about a week and a half before we're supposed to actually go, because they want guys competing, obviously, and such. Um, but yeah, down here for about 2.5 months, just working. And right now we're at 6 days a week. But once we have that for another week or two, and then we bump it up to every day a week, and we're playing games, trying to get ready for the season.
Hey, and that's another thing, man. And that's why I really appreciate you taking your time because, like you say, you're 6 days a week, and we found a day that you just, you say you have today off.
Yep, yep. So today we have off, and we'll be right back at it Monday. Our days off kind of get hit and miss depending on your throwing schedule because the throwing schedule,
Yeah,
and especially for pitchers trying to get your arm in shape, is kind of more important than having which just don't come in today. So
yeah, for real. Because like you need to throw every day, you need to keep your arm in shape, and as like especially a professional like you got guys all around you, and
mhm.
I'm gonna get into that in a second that are trying to do the same thing you're doing,
Yes,
and it's like really hard to like make sure you stay on track if like you're taking days off.
yeah,
Because if you take the days off, that's a whole day you missed to work, and you get. I think with pitching, I think the mindset that my college really tried to get me was stacking the days,
yep.
and that's probably the biggest thing with pitching. You can't pitch once a week because you'll never work on anything better. You gotta do something on that one day that's light. You gotta do something else on a medium day. Then you gotta work on that high intent day as much as you can.
Yep.
A lot of hit or
Yeah.
miss.
It's just
So,
like with in pro ball, we are playing for 7 months straight.
what month of that? That's April to October.
September, October. It's in middle of September, sometime end of September, depending on like playoffs and such. So if you can get your body right, and both in conditioning wise and like recovery wise, so you start doing those habits, and then you take them into season, you're going to last throughout the season healthy. Where you may have a
Yeah.
hiccup and stuff, like then you might have a hiccup in the middle of July or August, because we call those the dog days of the month. Your post All Star break, and you can see the end. We're still trying to finish strong. It's like, okay, what did I do back in March in spring training to help me get through this rough patch in the middle of July? So it kind of
Hey,
all works together.
hey, that's a really good way to look at it. I really appreciate you saying that because that's actually going to help me
Mm-hmm.
because I think there's a lot of times in my work, like the other day, so I went to that pro day and I was 90-93
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, wonderful, like let's go. 7 days later, I was top at 84. Now, what I was thinking was, during the off season, I'm lifting a lot more. I'm not preparing my body for that pen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I killed my legs the day before. I threw kind of medium because I wanted to go light, but Coach O'Brien wanted to throw more. So I threw more. I'm a nice guy. Then my arm was still taxed. I woke up, I was taxation without representation. My body, my hips were tight. It was ridiculous. So now I know, do not do that during the season, Joshua Lanham.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Lanham, please do not do that.
Yeah.
That is not a smart idea
And that's the thing maybe for like younger pitchers, and I had to learn this, and I'm still learning it myself.
on me.
Just because you're not lifting harder, completely taxing your body, doesn't mean you're not working towards development. Sometimes you need a day where you just go roll out on the mat or something in the gym and stuff like that and do some mobility. If your body's telling you like, okay, my arm is hanging, maybe it'd be smarter to not pick up a ball today. I had to learn that last year. I mean, of course, you went through college and stuff like that. There's not a single day where you don't throw. Not a single day. It wasn't until I got down here and talked with some of the older guys and major league guys. I'm like, oh, we're going out to play catch. I'm trying to find a catch play partner. And it's like, oh no, I'm not. I'm doing a no throw day. No throw day. He's like, yeah, today I need a day to.
Oh, I'm literally getting paid to not throw.
Yes, that doesn't mean they're not going in and getting treatment or they're doing conditioning or doing stuff in the weight room to help prepare themselves for the next day. But for their bodies personally, it would be better for them to not pick up the ball today, pick it up tomorrow, and get after it. Instead, just put more focus on in the weight room. And for me, I mean, we've played catch. I'm throw, 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 throw. But it wasn't until like last year's like, okay, I'm getting to July, August. I just threw 6 innings out of the pen this week. I don't need to throw today. And that's the part where it's more individualized for every person. Your
Right.
routine and recovery is going to be different from me, different from Caden, different from anyone else. You have to. That's what kind of baseball is, especially at the college level, is figuring out what works for you within the program, within talking with your coaches and training staff, because it's all going to be different.
Right. Right. Man, that's great. And during the off season when we were throwing, you were throwing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Was that strict? Were you throwing Tuesday, Thursday, or on
Yep.
the weekends or
Oh
anything?
well, to start out, like I would say, early on in like October, September, October, and early I was only throwing 3 days a week. Um, that's what the Red Sox wanted. That's what I had figured out in the past. That's what works out for me. But like once we started getting more in high intent, okay, now we're starting to get close to touching the mound. I'm throwing probably Monday through Friday, sometimes on a Saturday. But like let's just say we throw pens on Monday, Friday, and Wednesday's a long toss day. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm still throwing, but it's much, much toned down. More, let's just get the arm moving and get back in the habit of being able to throw every single day.
Okay, that's wonderful, man. Now I kind of want to talk on the culture and mentality basis. What did you have any guys that you kind of are seeing now that you're like you've seen them before and your friends, Because I feel like that's like my biggest thing is that if they like called me to report to spring training, just like, oh, I don't think I told you. I signed with the Mississippi Mud
No,
Monsters.
you didn't. That's awesome.
Yeah, in Mississippi
That's
in the
awesome.
Frontier League.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Josh. When do you have to report down there?
April 25th.
Okay, so you still got some time
Yeah.
left at the
Oh yeah.
training
Oh
facility.
yeah. Yeah, still got about 2.5 months left, so I'm big chilling. But you report down there. Are there any guys that were familiar?
Oh yes, yes. Especially now being going into my third year, I know almost all the guys.
Really?
The people I do have to learn is like changes in the training staff because they go through different hires and stuff, and then the draft class that was last year. Because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't when I'm in season, I don't see them when they're drafted. They go down to Fort Myers, and sometimes they go to Low A, which is in Salem, but I never see them. So coming down the spring training is like, okay, let me get names of all the new guys and try to remember them. But it's also good to see like I was talking with a buddy, and it's like, okay, let's see if we can how many people of the Sea Dog bullpen we have down here. And we count out, I think we're missing one person yet, and he'll be down next week. And so like our whole entire
Wow.
bullpen's down here and stuff. So yeah, we're all very very close knit and stuff, and it's good to see. It's like, oh, how was the off season? What did anything special happen? Like any new things in life? So yes, it's very good to see all the guys and still see the training staff too because they're good with us too.
familiar faces and they know what's going on with you. You don't have the access during the off season like you did while you're there. So I know the training staff is probably huge for, lifts, treatment, making sure your body's right. And I know it's probably a luxury, ain't it?
Yeah, and that's. I mean, yes, it kind of stinks having to come down here so early because it shortens the off season. But not only do they get their hands on us, the training staff and coaches, but we get access to them, like you said. I'm down here. I'm getting arm stretches every day. Remember how I tweaked my hamstring a little bit? They fully cleared me and made sure that was good. Oh, my arm's bugging me a little day. Let's cup it. Let's scrape it. Didn't really have access to that back home and stuff, which is fine because I wasn't as high intensity. But not only do they get to have hands on me, but I get to use them as resources as well, especially this time where I'm trying to get prepared for season.
Right. So you would definitely rather have tweaked your hamstring here than back at home.
Well,
Obviously not time frame wise, but
yes.
having a training staff, is probably they're probably treating that thing like it's a
Yep.
grade one tear, and they're making sure that's
Being
it's
overly
taken care of.
precautious. Yep. They're
Yeah.
smart about that because as a competitor, I'm sure you want to get out there as quickly as possible. But they're like, okay, let's reel it back a little bit. You're probably not there yet and stuff. Luckily, right now I've been good. I was in a good spot when I first came down here and such, and so like they checked it out. They're like, okay, take 1 or 2 days just to make sure. Let's test it, and then everything felt fine. I was good to go. But yes, they're very
Wonderful.
cautious over us and protective.
I'm glad you're doing okay, and I'm glad you're 100%. That makes me so happy. It makes me content with life. Um, Hoppy, I want to kind of talk about your off season, man. Did you have a job during the off season? You're doing baseball. Baseball doesn't take all day, man.
Mhm.
I think people think it does. It probably is about 2 to 4 hours. If you really put it all together, if you had a stint, because some guys stretch in the morning like me.
Mhm.
It's not all just like stretch, mobility, lift, throw, condition. Like just separate out throughout the day. So, what was your kind of off season stuff looking like?
Yeah, so I would agree with you. Some guys are going to be longer, but I would say on average 2 to 4 days or 2 to 4, excuse me, 2 to 4 hours a day on average. Some days are going to be longer and stuff once we get higher intensity. But yeah, as a job in the off season, I did substitute teaching. So with that is like they send me a list. Okay, we need a substitute for this day, this day, this day. Can you work? And I'm like, okay, I can do this day, and still make it to the facility or whatever. Oh, this day I'm actually off from throwing. We're so early on in the throwing program. I'm free and I can go do that. So yes, I kind of
Right.
use that to supplement income and such to help with that.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So, did any of those guys know that you were on the Red Sox? Any of your students been like, "Yo, who are you?" Or they know you threw 101? Or
So I try not to bring it up just because that's just my personality. And funny
yeah,
enough, I was working with special ed students, so they would ask and I'd tell them or whatever. They were excited about it. They didn't really process it, but during like in the teachers' lounge or at lunch and stuff like that, they would find out secondhand. The teachers would, and they'd come up and ask me about it. So, like, oh, what's your training regimen like? Like, I lift 2-3 days a week and stuff. But yeah, they're actually very cool about it and stuff like. They're just asking me all these questions, like, oh, I really didn't know you not didn't really know you cared that
yeah,
much about it or were that invested in it, but I guess they thought that it was cool that I was actually there helping sub and stuff, and they're just talking up, making conversation. So it was more the teachers when they found out, it's like really and stuff, and they started asking
really.
questions. It's like, oh, can we watch your games? Like, yeah, you can watch my games and stuff like that. And so yes, it was very cool.
Wow, that's wonderful. So the teachers were really the more kind of thriving over at Waname. So you said something about they were asking about your training.
Yeah, so there was one male teacher, and he likes to lift, or he was like he's a former Division III hockey player. He's
Okay.
like, okay, so like he has young boys, very young boys, and I think he has aspirations for them to try and go play seriously for other sports and stuff. And he's like, okay, in your off season or your downtime, what kind of lifts do you do? How many days a week do you lift? Because I'm thinking he's like picking his brain not only for himself. Okay, so like if my kids get to a level or close for
Yeah,
that you are and stuff in their sports, what's life kind of look like for them, so I can help them with it.
dude, that's actually like really, really smart.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, he's a very,
yeah,
very
he's
smart guy.
using his resources and all that stuff. And kind of were y'all talking before? Did he kind of talk to you more than when he found out that you were part of the Red
I
Sox?
think he knew from the very beginning because my fiance's mother works with them, and so they're very close. So he kind of knew going into it. It's like, okay, that's Alex. He plays professional baseball and stuff like that. So
Okay,
he knew a little background. He was about him and maybe one of the teachers, about the only teachers who knew a little background info on me before I went and worked and stuff, which was fine. So that it just
gotcha.
helped him gain even more information.
Yeah. Well, I mean that, and that's pretty good. That I was saying the same thing about the familiar faces. You didn't know the guy was a familiar face, but you have your off time from teaching. You're not just sitting in your classroom just being,
Oh, no.
you actually get to go to the break room and have some conversation. You might even do teachers come to you in your classroom?
So I was like an assistant or whatever, and sometimes it would. But luckily, with like, because I was always doing special needs kids, it was awesome
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, yes, we go do worksheets and stuff like that, but it's not like your typical classroom. So half the time we're baking cookies, we're teaching cooking. My favorite part, we're taking them to the gym, and I'm
Yeah.
basketball with them in the gym, just fooling around like an athlete or whatever and stuff, having fun with them. So yes, I was technically a teacher, but I was having fun with it too because it wasn't a textbook classroom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's great, man, that you're helping out with all that stuff and you're able to kind of, because there's a lot of people that can't really do stuff like that. The special education teacher, because that's something that I kind of want to go into. That mom thought that would be a great career choice for me, but probably, as you know, they're not the most
No,
financial burden people ever.
nope.
But I do like to help my time when I do it. Like I used to help out the Special
Oh
Olympics, and I
yes.
love the buddy program, and I just, they're my favorite people. A lot of them have my number, I
Oh,
swear,
they've
because
become one of my favorites. I tell people they're about the only people in the world who won't judge you.
at
No,
all,
no.
at all, you can tell them the worst
Yeah,
thing.
and they're gonna think you're the president.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Bro, that's so cool."
Yeah. Have you heard
Like,
this?
wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
bro. Yeah. Okay, well, really appreciate you kind of dipping down in your routine, man. It's huge to kind of hear what you kind of go through in off season and all that. I kind of want to get into your pitching a little bit, so kind of go deep dive through your repertoire. Kind of what you've been working on, what you have been, how they move, and what they're supposed to move like.
Yep. So right now I currently throw a fastball, slider, changeup, and a cutter. The cutter was the off-season pitch for this past off-season to work on and develop. The changeup was the year before. So coming out of college, I threw two pitches: fastball, slider. Fastball is going to be a traditional four-seam fastball with carry. Slider is going to be your bullet. It's not going to be the big sweeper or anything, but it's going to be a bullet and it's going to be hard. Changeup is a funky grip, but in terms of movement, it's not that different. Arm side fade. It's like a split Vulcan grip, so I'm kind of split in the middle of it between my middle finger and my ring finger. And then this new cutter is going to be similar to the slider, but I want more carry on it. The main thing is Josh and I, as we were throwing partners, we were working on and stuff. It's like differentiating between the slider and between the cutter. I don't want them to blend. I don't want them to be the same pitch. I want them to be two different pitches. So to do that, I want the cutter to carry a little bit more, still have a little bit of cut. I want the slider to be bullet and depthy.
Gotcha. Dude, I just think it's such a crazy. Does your slider have any depth to it?
So like if you look on like a TrackMan or Rapsodo, it's going to have like 0 to 1 inches of vertical movement and then -2 to -3 inches of horizontal movement. So
Interesting.
if my fastball carries at 18 inches and the slider is at 0, it's going to look way more depthy.
Okay. So what are the velocities of all your pitches?
So fastball, I usually average 97 to 98. Sliders usually like 91, 92. Sometimes if I'm feeling good, I'll pop up to 93. Changeup is going to be 90, 91. And then cutter is going to be 94 to 95.
Gotcha. And what's your lifetime PR?
101.
Okay. Wow. Any points on that? It's just a clear 101. But you kind of make me seem like you probably didn't care.
No,
You're probably just like, what was it? 101. Okay.
it was my first full season. We were in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I pitched the ninth inning. I don't know if it was a close game. But I don't know if it was a safe situation. Anyway, it went well or whatever, and came back in. And I thought the tech people and my teammates were joking with me, so because I had hit 100 a few times before, so I'm like, okay, that's great and stuff. But like, I thought they were joking with me. He's like, oh, you hit 101 today, and I'm like, yeah. I just like kind of laughed it off and didn't think about. I thought it was just another joke. But then you're like, no, it actually read 101. I'm like, okay, the scoreboard's off. What the TrackMan actually read? Because that's the numbers we
Yeah.
officially go off. And he's like, no, TrackMan read 101. So you're not messing with me. He's like, no. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Dude, that is so hard. Did you get any other numbers on the 101 or anything
I
like
think it was
that?
take maybe like 101.3. I don't remember specifically, but it wasn't. I think it was like 101.3 what it was in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and it may have been because it was like it was like mid or early July, mid July or whatever, and it was felt like 105 degrees on that field. So
Gotcha. Okay, so what is like kind of your mindset when you're on the mound? You said it was a close situation. It kind of sounds like you're more of a relief guy.
yep, definitely a relief guy.
Gotcha. So kind of what's your mentality when you go in there? Because it sounds like you're kind of in a more close situations later in games. So what's your prep when you're in the bullpen, and then kind of what are you thinking while running out to the mound and while you're on the mound?
So I would say prep in the bullpen, I probably do a lot less than I should be, or maybe sometimes I would recommend for people doing. When it's cold out, and I had to learn how to do this up in Portland, Maine, because it gets very cold, it's like I have to at least start doing a little bit dynamic. When it's about 35 degrees, 40 degrees, and you're sitting in the bullpen and you hear the radio call, I got to get up and move or whatever. But like when I was down in Greenville, South Carolina, if it's a little bit warmer, and I'm just sitting there sweating, I really don't need to do much besides a couple arm circles and stretch the arm a little bit, and then I hop on the mound and throw. Um, I would not don't take this as advice or recommendations for people for future pitchers, but I say adrenaline masks a lot of things, and adrenaline will get you loose. And so, just being as a reliever, I hear that mic click, and my adrenaline spikes. I don't even before they even say a name or anything, you hear the walkie click, and your adrenaline starts spiking.
Yeah,
Something.
it really does.
Yeah,
I was a starter in the pen, and like had no chance, no chance of throwing.
I'm not in spikes. I'm in turfs. I hear the radio spike and my heart rate jumps. I guarantee my heart rate, my heart's spiking, and I'm in flats. I know I'm not going in today.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm literally down to that.
yeah. I mean, you can play a mean prank in the facility and just have a walk behind me and get a walkie going, and I'll jump and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's an actual walkie from like Walmart. Yep, that's how we do it. But yeah, so I really don't do that as much. Adrenaline helps me get loose a lot. Obviously, I'm going to take about 5 pitches to get the arm moving and such, but then I'm full blow, and then it's like, okay, how quick can I get ready and get the arm moving? I'm not necessarily worried about how my pitchers are moving or really that much location as long as I'm over the plate. Because in that splits, in those few minutes or whatever, sometimes it's quicker than others. Yeah. As you know, for a reliever, you got to get your body ready to throw to prevent injury first.
Yeah.
Pitch movements and where you're throwing come second. Half the time, I say this, like I could not throw a strike in the bullpen. I go out there and I have my best command day ever. It's just how it works. So I really try.
Can you please say that again? Can I tell people
that outings where I haven't thrown a strike in the bullpen and during warm-ups, and I come out there and dominate and throw every single pitch where I want to go and have a clean inning.
And then what happens whenever you're dotting in the bullpen?
Sometimes those are the worst ones, but I try not to think like that. That's the whole entire goal. Is like I don't care as long where my pitchers are going, as long as they're close and over to the plate. I'm more worried about can I get my arm ready to go out there and perform and not risk injury, because half the time it's not going to translate one or the other, good or bad. When I get out there, as weird as this sounds, I try not to think when I'm out in the mound pitching. If you watch me, I rarely ever shake my catchers as long as I trust them, because for me personally, I'm the type of guy who overthinks. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily say I'm going to second guess which pitch I want to throw, but it's just simpler. If you put down a cutter, I'm just going to go yes and throw a cutter. And because in my head, it's like I can beat whoever's batting, whether it's whoever at Double-A or if it's Aaron Judge of the Yankees. I have full trust in all my pitches that I can get them out no matter what the count is with any single pitch.
Yeah, no matter what the sequence is either.
Exactly. And I know maybe later on as I develop and stuff like that might change, but for right now, if you put down a fastball, I think I can blow my fastball by you. If you put down my slider, I'm going to make you whiff at this slider in the zone, whatever. It goes for every single pitch. So if I don't think out there, I'm not going to overthink what pitch I'm throwing, if my mechanics are right or whatever. So I'm just going to pretty much, college coach taught me this, grip it and rip it. Yeah. Don't think about it. Your stuff's plenty. If you're there, your stuff's plenty good enough to get the guys out. Are you going to have days where some pitches play better than others? Yes, that's just part of pitching. And then you work with your catcher to figure out, okay, this team seems to be sitting on my fastball a little bit more, and they can hit 98, 100. Trust me. Okay, we're going to go throw more slider. But guess what? I trust my slider just as much as I trust my fastball. I have no problem throwing all the sliders and stuff. And that's the ideal mindset for me.
Well, that's wonderful, man. I'm glad you said that last part with the slider and all that. You say you can throw whatever pitch. We're going to get into our quick questions portion. It's going to require you to answer probably about 4 or 5 questions, all right? So just start off with what's your favorite pitch to throw and why?
Fastball. I love blowing the doors off guys. The fact is that it's sometimes they don't even know what's coming, and I can still get it by them.
Really?
Yeah.
And you love that feeling?
Nothing. It's awesome to see them whiff through a slider or a changeup, but to know
Yeah, that's what I said.
to know that I beat you because I threw the ball harder than you were able to react and swing is unbeatable. Unbeatable.
No, hearing that from you is crazy. Would you rather face a righty or a lefty?
Um, Currently, probably a righty.
Gotcha. Would you rather pitch on turf or dirt?
Dirt every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm a big grabber of dirt. I sometimes I'll use rosin or whatever, but like part of the tick or the routine is like in between pitches I'll go and grab dirt or wipe the sweat off my hands or stuff like that because my hands will be sweating. On turf,
Gotcha.
I wipe it and it feels like carpet. I'm like, well, that didn't help me.
Yeah, it's like literally like you like literally just like got some of the gloss from the turf almost, and you're
Yes,
just like,
exactly.
bro, like what's going on? This is like honestly
I
ridiculous.
want my hands to be dry because I know they're going to get moist and sweaty anyway. So
Yeah,
let me get a
Lord have
handful of
mercy.
dirt.
Would you rather pitch home or away?
I honestly really like being away.
Yeah, that's dude. That's what all my people have been saying, and I said the same thing because I love. Someone said, "Walk into your trap, take over your trap,"
Yeah.
and I feel like that's a decent saying. But I love going in, and you got people talking that good to you. You got people all day waiting to chirp
Oh
you,
yeah, we get
and
it.
you got the other team just thinking like, "Oh, we're all good." Ugh. But that feeling, man, where you are just on and you're just killing them in their own field.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing better than the line of high fives on the opposing team's mound.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about
Yep.
that. That is
We do high fives
that,
and stuff like that, and you're on their mound and doing high fives while they're in their home dugout. Yep.
bro. Trying to go back. Yeah. And then if you could throw another pitch, what would it be?
Hmm. Well, the new meta thing is like a big sweeper or curveball. If I could throw a sweeper, I would like to throw a sweeper.
Really?
Yep.
Why a sleeper and not like a 12-6?
I just feel like it would fit my arsenal a little bit better.
Okay, so you just add another pitch. You wouldn't replace it. You just
No,
add a
I would
super.
not want to take out any of my pitches.
Gotcha. Okay. So appreciate you kind of touching on the baseball portion now. Kind of still baseball, but have you ever done any baseball camps or anything like that?
Oh
Like
yes.
worked them or attended?
Yep, I did quite a few of them in college. My coach and I were very close, and he knew I was very good with kids and stuff like that. So there's multiple times, and um, being with my parents during the summer when I was done playing summer ball, I could easily come to campus still, and they would have clinics or whatever on camp or showcases on campus. So I did multiple of them in high school and stuff. I did a lot of them too. Being from a small town, it's like I wouldn't say a lot of people knew who I were, but like knowing that I was going on to play further baseball is pretty big within my family and stuff. So camps then and stuff too. But yeah, I actually love it. I mean, you and I had plenty of conversations about age groups and stuff when we're training because I know you do a lot of coaching stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Which age groups you can do this which and stuff like that. How does this training method best fit this group and such? But yeah, I like doing them a lot.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, did you ever go to them growing up? I know everybody probably been to like a prospect showcase, but did you go to your little high school one when you're in elementary school and middle school and all that? Because I kept going to those camps until I was in eighth grade.
Yep.
Like the head ad, like a head ad.
Mhm.
I was going to my high school camp after my eighth grade summer into my freshman year of high school. Am I a goofball, Jamal, or what? Talk about someone that love camps.
I think it's awesome because the anytime you can go out and just play more, that's never going to hurt you. And
And that's what I
I
thought.
know a lot of people. I mean, I guess this day and age is like, oh no, I play for this travel ball team. I don't need to step myself down and go to this local. Like, no, if you believe you're that good to go play at that level, you can. It's not going to hurt you to go play at this level. Here, go play, go out, have fun. Not everything needs to be okay. I gotta go 3 for 3 today because I'm worried about this college that's talking to me, and I'm in seventh grade and stuff like that. I know.
Just need to get your reps in.
Yes, reps are
Get your reps
that's the biggest thing with baseball is get your reps in. Whether you're a position player, a pitcher, get your reps in.
That's all.
Me personally, my high school was so small, they didn't even have a baseball program for the last few years until I became a freshman in high school, and then me and my buddies had enough people to actually play again. But I was still going to like the local city, the city league showcase and stuff.
Like a reg.
Yep,
Yeah.
did a lot of that. And then, of course, I mean, trying to get recruited out of state, I went to a ton of showcases, prospect stuff down, especially down south, to try and get my name out there.
Wonderful. Wonderful, man. Really appreciate you touching on that. Now, I just only got a couple more things. What do you think you know how to make a fire? If you had to go outside and make a fire, could you make one? You have a lighter.
Oh, I have a lighter. Yes.
You can.
Yeah.
How would you do that?
So I got to get some kindling or something to ignite the fire, and then I got to find some.
Okay, you're using a random word I've never heard of. Could you explain what that is?
It's like something to help ignite the fire and keep it going.
Brush?
Yes.
Does brush
Yep.
fit in that?
Straw, something like that. Newspaper. I mean, obviously, I don't know if you've had newspaper, like any type of paper out there.
A newspaper? Dude, I don't even remember the last time I seen one of them.
And then, yeah, geez, talk about that. But yeah, and then you got to get some small twigs to start the fire and keep it small to let it build and stuff. And then you can add your bigger pieces. But you like
Okay.
a lot of people just try and go grab the log and start it on the log. No, you got to start it small, let it build up, kind of like a snowball, and then you can expand.
Gotcha. Dude, that's wonderful to hear that you know how to do that. That's so good. So, what's your favorite sequence if you had to throw it? You know, you had three, like obviously 02, 01, 02, 03. You know,
Yep.
1, 2, 3, see you. Like, what's your like go to?
I don't know what my go-to would be, just because, like we've talked about earlier, I'll throw anything, anytime. I think, especially that's what I'm working on.
And when you're on the mound, you don't really think that much.
No, I understand what sequences work best for pitchers. But I think a big thing is like reading, almost not going in with a preconceived plan of what your sequence should be. You can have that, and that's great. And let's just say, for example, number 99 is up to bat or whatever. He's a right-handed hitter. And before going, okay, he doesn't like the sequence of slider, fastball, slider. Just to use an example. Okay, let's throw the slider, and he takes it. And then let's throw the fastball. Can't do anything with it. He doesn't even swing at it. It shocks him. Are you going to go back to the slider, or are you going to throw the fastball again? I'm probably going to throw the fastball again. How dumb he looked on it. And going back to a slider or what you had before is not the wrong answer. But I'm big, and this is my college coach. I'm big with playing the game with your eyes, and that's a big part of today that I think we're lacking, because a lot of stuff is analytical, right? It's all numbers. Okay, this guy has a 4% barrel rate or 15% contact rate on sliders. Okay, I'm going to go up there and throw in some sliders. For some reason, he's fouling off my slider, but he's getting blown up by a cutter or a changeup or a fastball, any other pitch. Are you going to keep throwing your slider if he's making good contact with it, or are you going to go to what you just saw him whiff on in a cutter? Analytics are going to say, okay, he still has a 4% barrel rate on a slider, but my eyes are telling me that guy can't catch up to my fastball. Right. I'm going to go with what my eyes tell me. That works for every pitcher. So I'm big on reading the game with your eyes, and that's why I talk about with trust with your catchers. Your catchers are going to be great if they can see the game and read the guy's swings and not just follow a card or a headset or whatever.
Because like at the end of the day, like I mean, bro, if you're playing wiffle ball, you don't have no numbers.
No.
And if I just made a dude a little stupid on a slider, I'm probably not gonna give him a fastball. He ain't earn it. I'm probably going to extend a little more with the slider and see if I just, because I look at it like this. Like I'm gonna throw a 30% pitch, if that makes sense. Like there's a 30% chance this dude even like swings at it. That's how I think. And I'm gonna try to make it like the best. Like I'm gonna make like a 35% pitch.
Yes.
Like that's how good I'm gonna make it look for him to be able to. Because I want to throw 100% pitch that he's gonna be able to hit this. Especially with 02, 01.
Exactly.
I'm like,
yeah.
Like I want to throw this and try to make him like.
It's not a waste.
It's almost like he's come to me.
It's not a waste pitch. It's a purpose pitch.
Exactly.
Yep. And like that's my big thing. The numbers are great. Use them as a tool and stuff as guidance. But when you're in the game, you can't live by them because your eyes are going to tell you how the game needs to be played.
Gotcha. So when you were in college, did you ever? Where did you sit on the bus?
First couple of years being the freshman, sophomore, underclassman, it was on the front and then the left. Younger guys sat in the front. Sometimes you had to be paired up. Just how it is. As I got older, and even still now, I sit in the back on the left. For whatever reason, I always sit in the left.
You on the back?
Mm-hmm.
Play Mafia?
I don't play Mafia.
Oh my gosh. So you got to give up your seat?
No, I don't give up my seat either. You can sit right next to me, but nope, this is my seat right here. You can come sit right next to me. I don't mind. And you guys can be as loud as you want and laugh. I don't care, but...
Really?
Yeah.
You're not gonna play, even if I was up there trying to persuade you to play, because I can be very
I know
persuasive.
you can, Josh. Trust me.
I'll say, look, Hoppy, look at all these people on the bus that want you to play. Look, everybody be like, me. I'm like, come on,
And I'll
man,
go say,
please.
have fun. I'll be cheering for you right here. Yep. And trust me, Josh, I've had so many people trying, similar to your personality, trying to get me out of there. I'm like, nope, I'm stubborn.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it's
Okay.
good to have games like that on the bus, especially on our long road trips and stuff like that. So I definitely did get it and stuff. It's like, because it gets tiring just sitting on your phone scrolling or watching a
Yeah,
Netflix.
exactly.
You kind of need
So what
that.
did you do? So did you like you didn't just sit there with headphones or a computer in a bag? You kind of you were
Yeah,
just chilling.
just chilling. I'd watch the
Okay.
Netflix episodes, socialize with the guys or whatever, talk about sports and stuff like that. Big sports guy, baseball, basketball, football. A lot of my
Gotcha.
buddies like love talking about that stuff. So a lot of that stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha, dude. All right. Can you who was the best guy you think you faced in your pro career? If it wasn't the pro career, if it was at college, you could say that. Like if you faced someone crazy at college, that's now like crazy. But no, I'd like to if you kind of know.
Hmm.
Because I know mine, and you probably don't even know him, is Brady House. He got drafted like
Nationals.
fit. You know who that
I
is?
know of him. Yes.
I faced him in high school, and he hit the hardest ball. Dude, it's not even like it was a home run. It was a home run, but like it was like the least home run because it was like a nice hit. It was like just a piece. It just happened to get out. That's how hard it was hit, and I was like, dog. And where it hit, there was a hill in left field after the fence. So like all you see every time there's a home run, you see it like going to the
Uh
stands.
huh.
They hit it so hard that it hit like it really had a down angle and like you didn't see it come back up. You were like,
It's
dog, what
just
happened?
placed right there.
Dude, dude. He was like I think he was like in ninth grade at the time and I was a senior. And I was like, bro, how am I a senior? Committed somewhere and he over here
Well, yeah. I
was
mean,
just
there's a reason probably why they drafted him as high as they did.
oh yeah.
Yep.
There probably is.
I would probably say best hitter I've faced. I mean, he's been in a recent baseball media lately because he's number one prospect on most lists. That Roman Anthony.
Roman Anthony.
Yep, he's the number one prospect on most lists for the Boston Red Sox. We were in the same draft class, so I
Really?
remember my first spring, and this was before he's as good as he is now. We were playing in spring training, of course, like pitcher, catcher, hitter, live ABs, and he was hitting against me. I threw a fastball in the other third, and luckily he got out, but he lined that like outer third, very well placed pitch, and hit that thing on a line so hard right to our shortstop. I didn't know a bat could sound like that off hitting a baseball and stuff. And he's only gotten better from there. I've played with him for a bunch of years. We've been on the same team. He ended up going to Worcester at the end of the year last year, but that dude is the real deal. Another one is I haven't faced him yet because he's on my own team, but Christian Campbell, our top prospect. Those two guys are going to be very, very good. And those are probably the best guys, specifically Roman, that I've had to face.
Dude, that is crazy, dog. Well, man, hey, I appreciate you getting us in. Obviously, I would love to talk to you all day, man, but it's your off day. I appreciate you getting me on your off day and making sure the viewers kind of know who you are
Yeah.
and, give back to the community because the community is going to be able to use these messages a lot, man. There's a lot of stuff that we covered today that was wonderful.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you joining me on the morning juice, man. That's huge.
Of course. Appreciate it, Josh.
Yeah, man. I'll see you again soon. All right, bro.
Yep. See you.